Uh, Welcome to India Retailing Presents Leadership Dialogue by Esri India on the topic Unlocking Business Transformation with Location Intelligence. If you look beyond the pre-commerce era, if you look at the stage after COVID, offline to online has been a journey that every retailer was actually aspiring to because they thought in such a way that this is just the beginning and this is the transformation that's what we are going to witness. But again, if you look at the approaches that retail has undergone, it's like we are actually coming back to the offline journey once again, from online to offline, offline to online, and then once again offline to online. Uh, as all of you retailers who are actually have a specialization in analyzing the right location for a particular store in terms of the geography, in terms of the audience that you are targeting, it is very important that you have a pinch of a technology impetus into it. We'll be talking the idea about this roundtable is just to analyze how from Esri, the technology that they're using is going to be a catalyst in all these assumptions. I wouldn't use the word assumption, but still in acting as a real impetus to the uh, as store tracking analysis, all the tracking of all consumer behavior and all those specialized things. Before we jump to the topic, I would just to warm it up, I'll ask each of you to just uh, brief on what are the criterion that you guys right now focus on selecting a location for a particular store. We have so many primitive technique, we have so many data analysis technique, but if we were just to start with, we'll start with Vicky and Akash. What do you? We'll have a 1 minute conversation before that, before Sumit takes over. And so, what are the criteria that you right now analyze before opening a store in a particular location, and then we'll hand over to the team.
Consumer retailing team of Bharat Petroleum. So generally we put
Mike.
petrol pumps and LPG. So generally we put gas stations, petrol pumps and LPG distributorships. We are also trying to put convenience stores or grocery stores in B and C class towns. So for us, main data as of now is what is the sales of petrol and diesel which is taking place, or what are the number of LPG customers there. Then we further segment it into middle class and upper class customers. On that proportion, we decide, and we also look at catchment analysis. But as of now, that catchment is not this much quantified. It is more collecting data, doing some basic research, talking to our dealer, and making an assessment of number of households. Not a very scientific data as of now.
That's why I'm asking because nobody's giving me the mobile number at the time of fueling in the car.
We have many of our pumps. We have that much data. We don't collect mobile number, but we have backend data at each of the petrol pumps, even LPG. The numbers, not the mobile number, but total numbers which are coming.
This segment is middle class or upper middle class.
No, that doesn't come. Yeah, yeah.
Hi, so this is Shahroz from Meena Bazaar, and I have we have almost 75 stores across India, 90%, 99% in the malls. So we have a basic criteria that we have to open in the malls only, uh, because of the conveniency, because of the pre-analysis of the developers. So we don't want to invest more into the analyzing the locations. So we are there in every other mall which is there in the countryside. So that's the way we do the business development for us. Yeah.
Hi, myself Jatin from Jadeblue. So we have close to around 80 stores put together for Jadeblue and Green Fiber, and we are predominantly in high streets. So the store range is around 18,000 square feet for Jadeblue. So we do a lot of analysis in terms of as in like analyzing the catchment, what kind of people are staying, what income groups are there. So we do all those kind of analysis. What are the stores besides, and how much business they are doing it. So we do all the kind of analysis, and also the new edge technology has also come. So we see what kind of people are coming in that particular area, which location they are coming from. So through geofencing, we have all those details also coming in. The technology is also playing a lot of part into it. So yes, we do all those technologies also, and because selecting a high street store, because we have to pull the customers. So it's not a mall wherein the customers will be footfall would be driven by the malls. So in our case, yes, we do a lot of analysis, and post that only we get into opening the stores. It ranges from around, recently EBOs we have started, so 2000 to 18,000 square feet. So we are into complete one-stop solution for men's, from ethnic to casuals to formals to bespoke.
And what is there any tool that you use for analyzing all these things?
Yes, we have tied up with one of the company.
Okay.
So they give us all the real-time data, as in like what kind of mobiles people are carrying it, where exactly they are coming from, how much time they are spending in that particular area. Along with that, what is the income group of the people surrounding in that area, real estate, what kind of buildings are there, what kind of real estate, what is the pricing. So we do all those kind of analysis, and post that we uh, select the store.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Myself and Akash, we are in the same team. So, in fact, when I was looking, so I was wondering that how ESRI or Esri, as he pronounced, can help us in selecting better locations, because our locations like the petrol stations and the gas agencies are spread all over. We are on highways, we are on state highways, we are inside the town. So we are looking to develop that kind of intelligence within our ecosystem, which would help us to select a good location.
Thank you.
I am Devesh from Max, part of Lifestyle International Private Limited. So we do have close to 525 stores across country. I say that still nobody in retail does have an accurate measure to give sales projection. Age-old method of gut feel is still prevailing. There are two types of market. One market where you do have a competition present. There is a market where you are going as a first mover. The time it is a competition which is present, you do have there your certain measures, how much percentage you do at a X location versus Y location. That's one which comes out. So you take your all tick marks done first. What is the quality of real estate? The kind of frontage you need, the kind of floor plate you need, the kind of accessibility you need. These tick marks first you do, then you do mapping with the competition, then you do surrogate mapping. How Domino's is performing, how Chroma is performing, how other electronic brands are doing there. So easier if it is a mall, of course it's easier. The quality of construction you can say, quality of retail tenant mix you can see, and you can decide upon whether you want to go there or not. The time it is high street is difficult, but benchmarking is something which is important. A retailer like us, where the consumer base is huge and we do have a repeat purchase of more than 85-86% kind of a thing. So it's easier for us to find out that what percentage of customers are coming from that catchment. That's one. Second is, once you do have data of online sales, you come to know that which pin codes are responding. So in case of a nascent virgin market, this is the biggest tool you do have. How many transactions are happening from that particular pin code? And that gives you an idea that what kind of fashion purchase is happening there, what kind of ticket size they are generating, and that gives you a broader idea that if you take some 10-15% of that particular traffic to your store also, this could be a probable percentage of sale you can generate. Largely these are the tools what we tell, because in retail there are many variants in that sense. So you do have your next door competitor doing twice of your sale, so location is no more is the case. Competition does have a plus minus 20% of the price points you do have. So ultimately, you can come to an exposure where you can minimize the risk, but as such, no technology available as of now which gives a precise information. Okay, this will give you this kind of a turnover. Basis that you can calculate your other cost and go for it. Still, gut feel prevails over all these data. We want to convince our gut feel whether it's right or not, but ultimately it's the way we are doing right now also, though this much data is there to back it up. Yeah. Yes, largely you justify yourself. And yeah, if it is broadly going out, nothing supporting, then you don't take a chance and go for it.
Again, it's a domination factor. Is absolutely right. It's a gut feeling that is going to drive you. Okay, should we open up the store here or not? So we have opened up a store in Ayodhya 2 years back. So the kind of Ayodhya at that point of time is something which is very destructive, very this everything is so destructive at that point of time because of that beautification and all. But we have opened up the store in 2022, and it is one of the best store in 3 tier cities. The kind of genetry we have out there, the kind of taste the consumer has, we are shocked with that, because it is a countryside area, it's a very dehat kind of a thing. But yeah, the kind of people out there, the kind of choices, the kind of lifestyle taste they have, it's absolutely on a metro level.
You want to pass on mic to Mr. Kothaari?
Good afternoon. My sincere apologies. I got delayed.
No worries, no worries, sir.
So we are. So I have to give introduction. How
So
is
what
it?
we were trying to do is, we wanted to open up with understanding. You are doing your business today. So while you're doing your business today, what is the view that you want to share with the audience over here? That location or finding out right location for your business establishments plays a role for you, and how do you do it currently? What are the factors that you probably consider to do this?
So there are multiple factors when we consider the location of the outlet what we open. One is to see we look at the age group of that particular sector, whether it is an of a commercial area what we are talking, or it's in large societies like say they have 12 20 societies. That is the first criteria. That is what is we'll look at it. Post that we see what is the catchment area, who are our competitors around, because usually what we have seen the mindset is that the people customers will prefer to go there where there are cluster of restaurants or outlets which we have opened. So more or less we try to do it at the mall area, and the location is preferred on the ground or on the level 1, just to give them the preference of that. We don't usually go beyond level 1. Plus, the other our challenges is, apart from this location, is that we now are now slowly focusing more on food delivery. So that geolocation also is important, which areas we should concern, which pin code we can serve. I know currently today we are totally dependent on the likes of Swiggy and Zomato, but we also want to have our own riders. So to fulfill that also, so that geolocation also is, that's a pain area where how we can capture that area, or where we should do it, that we don't know as of now, because it's completely online. And unless and until we do business for another 2 years, then we will come to know based on our historical data. But then we may miss the bus.
Good. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Parind.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Parind from Metro Brands Limited, representing Metro Shoes and a lot many other brands that we have in our portfolio. We are now over 900 plus stores across the country, part of almost every mall in the country, and we are also on every high street of the country. I very strongly agree to what Devesh told us, that there's till date there's no hard hitting formula where we are so confident that yes, this one tool can solve all our problems. Especially with us in our category, the way we kind of evaluate everything, we benchmark a lot of parameters. We not only benchmark the market rentals, but we benchmark brands. We benchmark brands and its performance compared to our brand performance in each of those territories. We also, of course, rightly look at the sizes and the layouts, because I'm sure if you all have experienced any time while shopping footwear, the shoes are thrown from up above, where we have a loft and we do a lot of efficiencies built in. So layout is of utmost importance. We are also primarily very comfortable doing stores which are deeper in depth. Of course, while frontage is important for all of us, but depth is something that really helps us a lot. of course, the catchment analysis goes hand in hand, but competition analysis is also very important. We having multiple brands, we also benchmark our own performances. How is my brand, which is present in this market, performing? Am I ready to bring another brand yet or not? And so on and so forth. So with so many various parameters, honestly, our life would be very easy if there's one single tool that can help us with a lot of these things. We are struggling, but I'm sure with advancement in technology at some point, all these answers will be there in one go at a few clicks. Uh, yeah, that's about from my side. for
Wonderful,
now.
Parind.
Yeah.
I believe we will be of some help to you in this case. Probably. You know, I'm just being very aspirational here, but then, yeah, we'll come to know. Vibhanshu.
Hi, I'm Vibhanshu. I own a brand called Chalu Chinese, and at present, we are the India's biggest Indo-Chinese brand, India and global. So for us, we are a very QSR brand. So our square feet start from 250 to 400, right? And we target, our strategy is to target second tier and third tier city. We never try entering any first tier city before, we tried and make our backbone very strong in terms of financial, because we are a bootstrap company. We are entering all second tier and third tier city, and our strategy is to whomsoever local players are there, we take out their numbers. It's very easy for F&B brand to take out any numbers of any restaurant, right? And then we try and book our location. Then we try and play with numbers. Or first thing what we check is the rental, the commercial part. If commercial is, I don't pay, like I own near about 300 restaurant right now in India. We never paid more than a lakh rupees to any of the mall or any of the high street. So generally, what we do, we try and work on our break evens, right? Because in F&B industry is always, if your rent is like a lakh rupees, your break even will be near about 7 lakh rupees. So before we enter, we try and work on our assumption PNL, and if that comes in positive way, we go and crack the deal. So my target is more of a second and third tier city in terms of that, and that's what strategy what we do to enter a city. That's
Wonderful.
Right now, how many locations you are present?
Ma'am, in India right now, we are, when you talk about physical store, we are near about 227, and 63 is Cloud Kitchen. Okay, we run it from our restaurant. Plus, we have couple of outlet in Canada, which is one is Waterloo University, second is Conestoga University, and we are expanding. In couple of years, we'll be expanding near about 25 outlets in Canada, and we just signed a deal in Australia too. So, and this year plan, when you talk about financial year 25-26, we are expanding 151 more outlets. And it's totally bootstrap so far. So,
If you don't mind sharing, like the turnovers that you are doing.
last year we did 121 CR, expanding brand. And valuation is near about 200 plus CR.
Super. I mean, I won't say, you know, my job is a little bit easy. You know, most of you, whatever you have kind of, you know, shared with us today, I feel that, you know, you have thrown a little challenge to us. Like Shahroz mentioned that, you know, he will generally consider the malls, upcoming malls, and the realtors will, you know, approach him, and, you know, he will make his decision. I mean, I have a good feeling when it comes to Mona and Akash that, you know, they are still looking out for, you know, something who will help them to, you know, give them some analysis telling that where they want to open up and expand. I definitely agree with you, sir, Mr. Kothaari, and I definitely, you know, can't, you know, agree more with you, and you and Parind. But one thing that I want to really highlight here, you know, when you do all these things, and there might be not one single tool, and I'm not saying that my tool will also, you know, one of the tools that will, you know, give you a precise thing for your decision making. But the thing that you mentioned about your gut and the validation to the gut is a bridge that, you know, my tool might, you know, able to bridge. That is what we wanted to, you know, showcase you today, present from our side today, and give you a flavor of, you know, what it is. And after listening to all of you, you know, I think, you know, my life had, like I said, my life was a little easier because it's not working. It is working now. My life was a little easier because I wanted to leave you with this thought. Location is pervasive, and that is what we do for all of our customers. We want to address and we want to go and help our customers who are into consumer business like all of yours. And I wanted to propagate this thought by stating why we say that location is pervasive, because if you see most of the times whether you are whether you are producing inventories, whether you are selling your merchandise, aggregating the business or delivering some services. I believe, and we all believe that each of these elements are geo-referenced. Somewhere, somehow, a location element is attached to this, right? And therefore, if we want to take this thought forward, and if you see what we do in our in our real life, in our professional pursuit, we want to go and address our customer demands, and this customer demands this customer demand is at the core of our business, right? Whether we are producing, whether we are selling, or we are aggregating, whatever we are doing, we are actually addressing this core to our business. But if you see, to address this core to our business, we want to be closer to our customers. We want to be closer where we manufacture or where we produce our inventory and so on and so forth. So one thing is very clear: where is my organization? Where are my markets? Where are my customers? Where am I producing the inventories? How far they are. If that is going to be challenge in putting any logistical challenge or not. Where are my suppliers? Where are my vendors? Throughout. How is my distribution and warehouse network throughout? All these things. And when we start analyzing this, we come to a point where we say that now everything put together, we will want to club it under business or location intelligence. Now, what is location intelligence as per us? Today you are doing a lot of business, and for decades you are running this business. Are you not going to run this business without us? You are. And today you did and you run this business without us as well, right? But there is one geographical and geospatial aspect that we want to bring in and profess to you, that if you marry your business data with the geographical data, and most of you are doing it currently, like Jadeblue is doing, they are saying it that they are doing. So if you marry your business data with your geographical data and and process it through some of the tools that we have in our platform. These are analytical tools, ready to use tools, ready to deploy tools. You will absolutely get some actionable insights. Actionable insights as to what, how is your business doing today? Whether your business, current business, and your current infrastructure that you have set up, are they working optimally? So therefore you start by doing performance management, measuring your performance of your existing business, like you do with your own brands. You said, like, you perform the measurement, the performance of your own brands vis-a-vis other brands. So you start looking your business through geospatial lens. I'll give a very simple example here. I may take 1 minute for this. When today you're not doing a geospatial lens, so you're not using it, you do a lot of MIS in your business, and this MIS gives you a call to action. A very simple call to action will be, if you see, I am present in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, etc., and my revenue performance for this month is so and so forth. So your call to action is, okay, my Mumbai region is doing extremely good. I want to replicate it into the region where it is not performing. Probably it may be Kolkata, may it be Pune. We are all saying that if you start using geospatial lens and bring the same data onto the geospatial format, that is the tool that we are kind of professing. There are so many discoveries that you may unearth. The discoveries like, oh, okay, I am not present in Ahmedabad, I am not present in Chandigarh, I am not present in BDD, so on and so forth. Sometimes it is quite possible that it is by design, but sometimes it is also quite possible that it is a business overlook. So only by getting a MIS into a geospatial format and doing a geospatial MIS, you completely change the perspective of the business that you do today. Therefore, what you understand is, some of the places where, you have made heavy investment and the performance is not too good. Is there any reason why it is not too good? Probably, you may want to analyze it from the geospatial perspective. what is the cluster geographically that is there? Is there enough affluency? Is there enough market that is there for my services and my products that I'm present there? If not, then what am I going to do about it? Am I wanting to nullify my investment? No, probably the first course of action would be, can I convert that into an experience center there? Probably it can become a crowd puller. If not, can I convert it into a probably a dark store, or can I convert it into a distribution center? If not, then you may want to close that, convert that, or channelize that investment into some other location. And how do you find some other location? That's where my tool also comes into picture. You then start analyzing which is the right location to take your this business to a new location where you will be successful. And how do we do that? Of course, the expansion, diversification, and everything will come into picture, or all those things will be given to you. And we are going to show you a little small flavor of how all these things are done. Basically, because we are a platform which comes with lot of okay, so I'll put it this way. We are the pioneers of mapping industry. We started in something like 1969, our journey. And in commercial vertical, probably in India, we are very young, and because of the geospatial policy, which were kind of relaxed around 2-3 years back by government. And therefore, we started penetrating into commercial vertical. But yeah, by virtue of that, when we are getting into this, the intelligence that is built into our mapping solution is by virtue of all the information layers that comes with my platform. So you may call me as a data company. No, I am not a data company, but we are a tech company. But by virtue of requirement of the industry, I will have to provide certain information layer which will be kickstart, which will help you to initiate your journey on the geospatial or location intelligence platform. So what are those kind of information layers? Those information layers are your socio-economy, your demography, your spend analytics or spend patterns for category wise. So we have a lot of categories built in. It can be in, say, for example, Andheri, what is the population density? In that population density, what is the population gender segregation, male female? In that male female segregation, what is the age bracket? 25 years to 35 years, and in 35 years to 25 to 35 years of female category, female population, what are they spending on? Are they spending on personal care brands, fashion apparels, food and beverages, so on and so forth? So you have plethora of these categories, and you once you kind of according to for your business, whatever parameters you choose, the platform works for itself and throws, because of its algorithm, it throws out an outcome stating that these are suitable locations for you to look at. This is where you will be successful. And then we also index it. There are so many algorithms, so many models that are built on the platform. Vibhu, when I call upon Vibhu and Siddharth, they will kind of give you a glimpse of this whole solution. But look, all what you can do is store location, your inventory management, your marketing strategy. I was speaking to the CIO of Titan, and when we spoke about all these things, he pounced upon us saying that, Sumed, I want to use this for digital marketing. How? He said that we are doing a lot of VBOs, okay, but for the MBOs, I want to set up pops. If your platform, and I see a lot of potential to create a lot of pops, by virtue of which there will be a pull factor which I can create for my business. So this is very exciting. We have already signed up with Zepto. Zepto's to business today is all relied on dark stores, right? Today they are opening up. Today's their target is close to around 400 to 500 dark stores in India. They are going to open up using our platform, and then they are going to also analyze the catchment area for their 10 minutes drive time, because that is their whole business. The third leg of this analysis will be the supply chain. After they have laid out all these dark stores and catchment area, where is the inventory, which is the SKU, which is the inventory that they are going to go in which dark store, so on and so forth. So these are the projects. VIP industries today was struggling for their general trade and modern trade business. That is where they signed up with us to understand, because their online business was doing very good. but they wanted to really refine what is happening in their GT and MT. So they signed up with us and they started looking at it very critically, understood where their sluggish stores are, where their stores are not performing well. So they are now, they have, at least in Mumbai parlance, they have one signature store in Worli or Prabhadevi that we call. So they have started now analyzing, which are the other stores that they can convert into, the signature or experience store, and therefore, start doing the expansion. So this is a whole thing, plethora of things that we can start. And for you, Saroj, most of the realtors are, talking to us, all the mall management people, because they want to also understand, depending on this geography, depending on this cluster, depending on the demography, which are the brands that I can, bring into the mall. That is, and believe me, I mean, for last 2 days, I'm having these conversations a lot with these people. So, the possibilities are endless that we do here. I will not, take more of a time here because you may want to, see the pudding for yourselves. So I will leave it to Vibhu and Siddharth. These are all presentations, whatever I have spoken to you, today. Just to give you a final thing, we are a company based out of, our parents are based out of California Redlands. Our journey started in 1969, and that is a rich history that we have. We are present across the globe, and most of our businesses across the globe, including India, is into government agencies. There is none of the government agencies today that is not running on Esri platform. And what are they doing it is basically they are doing a lot of land management, utilities management, city management, forest management, border security, etc., etc. Because that was the primary objective why Esri was born. They wanted to bring a last mile into the umbrella of social governance and economy. While they did that, the second best industry vertical that started consuming our platform was utilities vertical, because they do a lot of oil and gas, electricity supply, your telephone services, so on and so forth. Third industry was obviously AEC. I mean, in our parlance, it is EPC. A lot of construction, infrastructure development project companies they started using, but a major chunk was left out of this platform, and that was commercial businesses like yours, consumer business. So our parent, they kind of got intelligence built in by the layers of socio-economy, by the layers of demography, by the layers of this spend analytics, spend pattern, behavior, etc., etc. And that is what we are, offering to our customers, so that they leverage this power and this power for their business expansion. I will be more than happy to take any questions from you up till now, or else I am here to kind of talk to you more and give you more insights before I call upon Vibhu and Siddharth. Anyone?
What is your source of information? From
Okay.
where you provide it?
I was expecting this question. So, like we work with a lot of government agencies, we have various MOUs with these agencies. So, likes of Geological Survey of India, Niti Aayog, most of the government agencies, Census of India. So most of our demography and part of our socio-economy data is based on census, which was done on 2011. Now, we have also in our platform used the algorithms given by our government to extrapolate it till 2036. So our data, we have all this data available up till 2036. Now the second part of the data, or the information layer, I mean, I'm not a data company, so I may not be giving you whole of a data, but whatever is available with me, it also comes from some of the specialized agencies which are contracted in our parent level. These people keep on doing field surveys with a sample group of people across India, and they keep on updating this data every 6 monthly basis or a yearly basis, and this once it is shipped to our parent, they convert it into the map layer, and they kind of update into the platform. That is our source. Sure.
Hi. So while you mentioned that a lot of this data is linked in with a lot of government platforms and the data that you do, which probably will help us for our geography and catchment analysis and all of that. But for other factors, when we talk about, let's say, competition analysis, or when we, let's say, talk about in terms of a lot of parameters, mainly including competition analysis, how do you think it can be of help?
Super. So what also comes with our platform is POI data. POI is point of interest, right? Where are my malls? Where are my brand stores? Where are my banks? Where are my schools, colleges, etc., etc. These are all POIs. So there are over 12 million POIs across India that we have in our platform. Apart from that, what happens is, my platform is a holistic platform. When I say this, it has three elements to it. One is visualization. How do you do that visualization? My platform is the only platform that will give you an ability to bring your business data onto the platform, ingest it. Okay, none other platform gives that. So if I have that ability, which means this data that you're speaking about, these are more of a micro market data, the competition analysis, competition data, etc., etc. Some of it may be available with me in the POI, I mean their locations. How much sale they are doing, I will not be able to give you because it is not a public domain data, right? But there are specialized agencies who do a lot of research on this stuff. Correct.
Usually publicly available.
Correct.
I mean, I'll also have an access to it.
Absolutely. Publicly available, but how are you going to, do an analysis or bring it to the, where are you going to do?
Vis-a-vis how I want to customize it with my needs.
Absolutely, right? So what we also propagate is you bring this specialized data which is available with this specialized agency, and because my platform has an ability to ingest the data, this data also comes into my platform. So what happens is your business data, this micro market data, and the geographical data, all of this gets married, and it gives you a 360-degree view of what you want to do with it, with your business. So this is a very strong element in my platform, and these POIs keep on increasing. I mean, around 2 years back, these POIs were close to around 8 million POIs across India. Today, when I'm talking to it, is 12 million POIs that we have built in. In the July release, they are still going to increase, so it's going to be 15 million POIs that are going to come up.
Sorry, by any means, I just don't mean to counter each and every bit of it, but I'm just having a few thoughts.
Yeah.
With having a publicly available information, getting some data from some other agency, don't you think we would also will then be able to build capabilities to develop tools internally with the help of some softwares and some codes and some stuff like that,
Of course, yes.
It could be as basic as a macros, or it could be also probably a little bit advanced by using Python or something like that.
Of course, yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Yeah. Then how would the tool give us an edge?
The tool gives you an edge basically because there are inbuilt tools which are there, inbuilt algorithms which are there. That shortens your cycle altogether. You bring in a data and start building something of your own. It has its own gestation period. Correct, but it has a gestation period, right? I mean, I'm sure, you have a lot of such questions, and therefore when I started, I said my challenge is increased. Okay, so I think, probably Vibhu and Siddharth will, make it a little simpler. When they show you a flavor of what my platform is, then you will understand, what we are really trying to profess here. Yeah? Are we good? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sumit. And while Siddharth sets it up, I think I'll attempt to answer Parind's question. Question about creating a platform of your own. I think a lot of it depends on how you want to. See, this is not your core business. You don't want to get into technology creation for the sake of it. And while Python can do a bit of it, a lot of it, the analytics side of it. There is a complex geometrical and geographical interaction that takes place, the kind of compute it requires. I would not suggest a business which is not focused on developing technology to get into that side of it. That is my personal opinion. If you have the wherewithal, by all means, it can be done. See, in IT parlance, given the right amount of money and right amount of time, everything is possible. We all know that, right? The second thing is, then there is the usability part of it. So you can create a content part of it from sensors. Let's say you get POI from somewhere and everything. one thing which we do additionally is we engage a couple of global survey agencies who do this income and expenditure surveys and apportion it to various geographies. So right now the current apportion level which we have is at pin code level. So the data which we get for our expenditure patterns, sectorial spends and everything, that is fairly accurate up till pin code level. And then we have created H3 hex bin capability to narrow it down to, let's say if you want to do this at a micro market level. Let's say you create a grid of 300 meters and you want to do that. So we have that capability. So we bring in household spread, like what kind of density we have in a particular sector. We use that information and then we apportion it accordingly. So it gives you fair enough details that ways. And as Sumit said, we can bring your data. So while we'll get one insight, and when we bring your data as well into it, the results might totally vary. So this is my personal opinion, but I respect what you said. Yeah. So I think now my colleague Siddharth, he will take you through a couple of examples, like how these data sets are curated. How do you use in your standard business analytics or location analytics, as I would like to put it. And if time permits, we will also love to do a quick hands-on onto our online tool. So, Siddharth, over to you.
Is this effective for F&B business? The F&B business is very different from others. Like, to be honest, there is retail, shoes, right? For one example, metro shoes, right? You can have 10 SKUs for different flavors. But F&B business is something, it's not about data, it's not about demography, it's more about taste. Right? How effective it is.
We will cover that.
Yeah.
So I think
because again, one thing which what you mentioned is like, see, for F&B business, if we are from F&B business, right?
Absolutely.
If we go for valuation, we might get into 4 into 5. But if we have food tech, we get into minimum what we'll get is into 10.
Yep.
Right? For F&B business, if we develop a tech business, and if we known as not as a food entrepreneur or as a food tech entrepreneur, my valuation will rise into 10. That's for sure, right?
Definitely. We have the right SDKs for you to, latch onto that as well. So if we want to get into that, we can talk about that as well. So probably on the analytics side of it, I'll ask Siddharth to quickly do something which we might have done as a demonstration for F&B side as well. So I think we'll start with general retail and then we'll move into F&B side of it.
Right. Hi everyone. Am I audible? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yes. So, okay, is the screen visible to everyone? I mean, it's low on resolution, but that's all we have, so we'll have to work with it. This is a spreadsheet. We've seen a lot of spreadsheets in our day-to-day life. I've just populated some random data into it. We've got cities, localities, and certain matrices that we would want to monitor. I have a column over here. Let me just highlight it so it's visible. It's called store revenue. Okay. Now, in the general chain of business, all I can do with this boring spreadsheet is take it out, select all the data I want, pivot it, and aggregate it. Let me just do it for a city. Pull in my store revenue values and just take them all. Put them in a bar chart. Okay. Let me just. So we've got all our cities. I'll just read all of them out because I don't think they're readable. We've got cities ranging all the way from Ahmedabad. The highest one is Mumbai. And the last one on the corner is Surat. Do we get any context out of this? Right? Let's just do one thing. Let's just take this same spreadsheet that we have, put it onto our platform. This is our ArcGIS Pro platform. This is how the general interface looks like. I have it on my desktop. All I'm going to do is drag it and paste it over here. There. Bringing data onto the platform is that easy. Let's visualize it now. So in the spreadsheet, we had certain location information. We had the city names, the locality names, and we had the lat long information as well. Right? We're just gonna go and populate them onto the ArcGIS Pro platform. There it is. So the system has intelligently identified which of the fields indicate which values. All I have to do is just click on OK, and all the points that we had on the table are populated onto my map. Right? We're in Mumbai, so I'm going to zoom in onto Mumbai. Well, yes, I'm just going to take a moment over here. Do we get any insights from this map? I'll just highlight some key points. We've got the western corridor starting all the way from Andheri Lokanwala. This is the Santa Cruz region, Bandra West, and a portion of the southern tip of Mumbai. This point over here, that's Chembur, and this is Powai. Again, do we draw any inferences from this map alone? Okay. These are all high-end localities in Mumbai. Expensive real estate over here. Okay. Let me just, to support this hypothesis, let me just bring in my business analyst extension. I'm going to with evaluate site. Do we have any preferences for Mumbai? Let's just take the one closest to us. Let's take Chembur. Let's just add a point over here onto our existing site. Yeah. And click on next. Let's take in drive time information. So this is going to create 5, 10 and 15 minutes of driving distances from the site that we've chosen. I click on next. Got a couple of options now. I'm going to select the interactive infographic and ask it to tell me what kind of demography resides within this region. There we have it. So within 15 minutes of my site, a population of 1 million, 4 lakh people reside, 3 lakh households, their age, their consumer classifications, and their expenditure in various categories. Categories such as personal care, books and stationery, medical products, etc. No. The source, the latency of the source is 2024.
So just an idea, from where you would have collected this personal care data or garden tools data?
So these data, they've done control group studies. Depending upon the population size, they take a percentage of population, consider that as a control group. The dynamics of the control group then depicts the uh, actual state of the location that you would want to analyze.
How authentic will this data be? Because there could be some private agencies who are very good, or
Yes.
it will be no, it cannot be government data. It will be basis the private agencies.
Yes, yes. To us, it is very accurate, but I mean, accuracy is a relative term. Other sources may differ from ours, but this is ours, our numbers.
Maybe if Nielsen or somebody you would have taken, then probably it would be authentic up to 70, 80. If you will have data for all these pin code level data, which I don't think they collect beyond class A, class B cities. I really don't know at what level they collect this data.
Is totally right. Uh, with how much seriousness that agency has done the work for to collect this data is also a questionable thing.
So the first tranche of data which we get on income and expenditures is obviously from census. It has been there with us, and then a second layer of, and these two are totally separate. So MBR does not get to see what we are doing with census data, and so these are two separate data source which come in, and then our team, our principals, they combine these two data sets, and then they try and create a combination which matches the current market dynamics. So that is how that is how we find it fairly accurate. So in the current, yeah, Parind.
So of course, the last census was in 2011.
Yes.
And most of us, this again, since pulled out of census, and you covered that, you all have been given some certain basic formulas on which you're auto-populating it till 2036 and everything. Is there an understanding on what are the broader guidelines or the hypothesis for that auto-population of the data?
Because the last census was in 2011.
Correct. So what are the hypotheses on the basis of which it's being auto-populated till 2036?
So there is a very detailed guideline on Registrar General of India. RGI is the agency responsible for carrying out census. Probably later we can share that URL with you. So those projections and assumptions have been listed out there. It's a pretty detailed document. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There is a formula where they're auto-populating it because all of us have been eagerly waiting for the data to come out. Unfortunately, most of us don't have access to it.
You put on Google population data of a microcity.
Correct. Which they give.
It will show you 5 different numbers.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So how it
So
happens?
there are different categories to extrapolate it.
Right.
So they must be having some AC Nielsen, ONM or such kind of agency which does it?
No. So we don't work with any agency which is based out of India. So as I told, the Indian part is something which we handle ourselves with support of RGI. And then we seek
Full form of RGI I am not getting.
Registrar General of India. So
that makes more worry actually. Don't know how authentic it is.
Oh, Registrar General. So they are the authority for carrying out census.
Not about the population data as such. If I talk about how much is getting spent on personal care.
Oh,
No. So like
these studies, because during my Hindustan Liver stint, we used to get it done through AC Nielsen only. And in that they do have a sample and then they go out. What is my market share of Fair and Lovely, how it's coming up, how others are doing it.
Right.
But otherwise you can't depend on the government agencies for these kind of data.
No.
Neither do we.
So like we said, right, in my earlier conversation I said, and we also mentioned there are 2 tranches of data. First tranche will come from these government agencies. And which kind of data is it? It is demographic, it is socio-economic. This data, the spend behavior, etc., that comes, you are absolutely right, it comes from specialized agency. But this specialized agency in our case is MBR, Michael Bauer Research, which is a German company, and it is it is engaged with Esri Incorporation for over a decade now. So there is a consistency that we have maintained. This agency has maintained with us.
And another thing, so as Dr. Sandeep mentioned that they are like, oh sorry, I mean it was probably you, Devesh, that there are like 5 different population measures you'll get on Google. So I mean Google is just a information aggregator, but we need to understand apart from census, the government is anyway. I mean there are economic surveys, so every state will have their own economic surveys carried out every year. So there are people always on the field. So that data is getting updated. It's just that we don't have a complete census exercise so far. So those data keep on coming in. And
I guess I have a point to make. I guess if you just keep aside the technological aspect of the same, I guess there are so many factors that comes into while allocating a store, just finding a space for a store. Sandeep, I would like to, I mean, just to engage into the conversation much more, I would like to add on the factors, like there's a concept of intuition versus data. I'm sure you're kind of breaking the barriers of how to overcome the intuition and come up with the right data. But at the same time, most of the retailer, when you talk about the Indian retail landscape and the technology adoption that's right into it, intuition still plays a bigger role. So if you could just if I have to have a seesaw of intuition versus data for the right analysis, how do you overcome those challenges and how do you make it right?
Difficult to overcome that challenges. It's not possible. See, end of the day, you have to rely on both. But now, what is the accuracy? We don't know. Intuition, though, you can't get accuracy at all. But data, when you all claim that you have from a genuine sources where you have that consistency from over a decade, that challenge may get reduced for us. But to answer, no clear answer for that.
No, I'm saying that this is going to help. Of course, this is going to help. And if it is authentic, nothing like it, because at least you do have something else also to compare with. So that's something which is there. Ultimately, you need to depend on intuition also, what they are saying. This is something which is a parallels, which may give some number which is coming out as per your category of business, what you want to do. That is there. That's the reason I was saying, if the primary data source, what you are saying about the census, economic surveys, whatever is happening, government is of course authority and that should be taken care. But the primary data collection is being done by the authentic agencies or not. The samples are correct or not. This is something where one need to, if you are saying it's consistent, means it will carry some weightage to it. I'm not saying.
So we get that data on the sample surveys. So we do get that backup data. Like what what was the duration for those sample surveys? How many people were there on the ground? So that kind of backend data is supplied to our principal when this data is being compiled. So we are pretty sure about that data.
I just want to add,
Yeah,
it definitely will certainly is helpful, and also it validates our own findings. I mean, there could be certain things which we may already would have known of, but then when it gives you a validation, will certainly probably help us prioritize as well.
Yeah, probably it also gives you a science for your gut feel, probably. True. Yeah, and second, some comfort. And what is more important is, while we sign up with most of our customers, nothing is hidden. So, like when Vibhu, Siddharth are mentioning that these are the sources of our data, there is adequate, white paper that is there with us as on the methodologies, how this data is created, when it is created, by whom it is created. That's first point. Second point, in my opening, note, I said that, we are a tech company, okay, which means that we are not a data company. But because the industry requires something so that you can kickstart your journey on this location intelligence, we will have to provide you with certain information layers. And this is that small set of information layer that we try to bring in with our platform. Yeah, no, your data sits on our solution, but then that is privately for you. No one else can view it. Yes. Siddharth, quickly we want to show the site suitability, and because we are over the time now.
So I think we can move to story maps now. You want to do that? That would be easier to.
We'll finish this one. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just look at the catchment dynamics of each of these locations. I'm just gonna quickly run the drive time trade area analysis.
That's all right. I think we can move to story maps. So something to do with the internet part of it. So what we'll do is we have compiled the outcomes and we'll quickly show you those things on presentation format. So these are so this is the enterprise side of our business, product offering. So we compile and collect all these things and then we publish as web maps. So this is part of the platform which is being offered, and you can see the similar map outlooks over here as well. So we call these things as story maps. It's a very good way of presenting your journey, your locational aspects in a website, in a presentation format. So we'll use that. We'll take that right now. Siddhartha.
Right. So this one was done for a leading cafe chain in the country. We started with mapping their presence across the city of Gurgaon. Okay. Took their respective catchments, their drive time polygons between 5 and 10 minutes. In this case, it's the walk time distances. And then quickly did the analysis on H3 hex bins. The reason we did it on H3 hex bins is because this is the city of Gurgaon. Okay. Not entirety of the Gurgaon is populated, but there's no way of knowing which region has how much population. With the Esri's product, once you put them onto certain grids, you can see where majority of the population resides. So the population in Gurgaon is closely concentrated towards the northern part. This south over here, mainly manufacturing industry, is not very populated.
So what was the size of the grid, Siddhartha, here?
So these grid sizes are H7 grids, closely relates to a locality or a neighborhood, a larger suburb. So Bandra, Andheri, Santa Cruz, these sizes would be an H3, H7 hexagons. Next, we model the propensity. Propensity is a function of their income and their spending quotient between the classes that we would want to consider. In this case, their expenditure in food and beverages. Again, we shortlisted the higher population, higher density grids from the map above. Now we've only done this for those grids. And then this one shows propensity. Higher colors indicate high propensity, lighter colors indicate low propensity. Now we're adding all the competitions. Competitions from their immediate market competitions, Barista, Blue Tokai, their presence, independent chain, unbranded cafes. Other supplementary joints, fast food joints like Domino's, McDonald's, Haldiram's, KFC's. Complementary businesses that would want to that would generate footfall of their own. Next, we model all the footfall hotspots within the region. Footfall hotspots being your metro stations, parking stations, fuel stations, healthcare facilities, banks, ATMs. Any of those POIs that generate footfall towards them by virtue of them just existing in that region. With that, we've come up with an iteration of our own footfall intensity. This is not shipped with the product. This is just to show how GIS capability works. This is not on the basis of real-time location or any mobile devices. This is just by virtue of streets or footpaths being there. And since they're in the vicinity of footfall hotspots, they are bound to have pedestrians walking onto them. So we've taken that footfall intensity and modeled what we call as the economic density within the region. Again, darker colors indicate high economic regions, lighter color indicate low economic regions. This one's my personal favorite. We call it the visibility and accessibility. Now in an ideal world where there are no walls and a flat surface to walk on, within 10 minutes you can clearly you can walk 600 meters in any given direction. However, in the built environment, in the urban environment, you have to follow certain infrastructure like roads, footpaths, buildings, and there is a laid network of street network that you must follow. So look at these cases in the one on the left over here. Since it is present on a highway, there's not a lot of distance you can cover within 10 minutes. As opposed to this one, which is on the crossroad of two roads, the catchment is quite different and visibly larger than the one on the highway. Similarly, for visibility, the same inverse aspect works on visibility. Now we modeled these on 10 of the shortlisted sites that we came up on earlier. and these are the results. So Sector 7 and Sector 8 pop out because they are ranking high in the subsequent previous analysis. And those are two proposed sites. Bring in our land use layers and you get a fair idea of what kind of store should you open. Should it be more oriented towards the residential market or more towards the commercial market? That about concludes this.
So when we did this part and when they saw this, so the two proposed location, they actually came on the wrong side of NH8, if we know how Gurgaon is. So this is not on the DLF side of Gurgaon, this is on the old side of Gurgaon. And they were like, yeah, so there is potential and there are locations which can actually, probably you already identified the logos and everything. So they had a culture, as part of their brand legacy, they want people to actually walk in, grab their coffees, probably sit there for a couple of minutes and then, simply walk off with the coffee. So they identified this. So this is something which was not visible in your traditional location analytics. So completely on the wrong side of NH8, but it's still worth it. So that is what it was. Yeah.